students, welcome back. Today I am Anuradha from Arden Progressive School, going to start another topic of the same chapter that we were discussing in the last class, and the chapter name is Plant Kingdom. So students, as we are doing in completion of the previous chapter, that is a biological classification. In that chapter, we have studied that how R.H. Whittaker has given the 5 kingdom classification, and this 5 kingdom classification started from the Monera, Protista, Fungi, then Plantae, then the Animalia, right? So likewise, as we are moving towards the Plantae, towards the Animalia, what is going to happen? There will be some complicated structure. So if I will talk about the cell organization or the cell type, so you can see that in kingdom Plantae, it is somehow the more advanced form. Okay, so here the cell type is for what? All the plants that they are multicellular as well as they are the autotrophic mode of nutrition. Okay, so here you can see that the cell type is what? It's a eukaryotic cells. Okay, because it's having the true nucleus, but some exceptions are there also, right? So if I will start here the today's class, in this class we are going to start the different types of algae. And what are these algae? As we have discussed in the last class, that the plant kingdom having the 5 division. What are the 5 kingdoms? That the first one is the algae, right? Then bryophyta, then pteridophyta, then gymnosperms and angiosperms. So here in this plant kingdom also, the plants, they are starting from the lower plants to the higher plants, right? So what we are calling the lower plants? All these algae, bryophytes, pteridophytes, what are they? They are the lower plants, because the first time the life originates from where? From the aquatic life, and gradually it is moving towards the land. Okay, so whatever the plants they are growing in the terrestrial areas, we are saying that these are the higher plants. For example, we all know that the gymnosperm, forestry, cycas, pinus, or we can say the banyan or the mango tree, all they are what? They are the gymnosperms or the angiosperms. But the plants, those are present in this aquatic life, and first time they have started. So what, from where we are starting? We are starting with the first division, that is the algae, right? So in this algae we have done the common characteristics. So what are the common characteristics of algae? That they are the autotrophic mode of nutrition, right? Likewise, their body is what? It is a eukaryotic, and they are multicellular. But now here also we have divided this algae into 3 parts. Okay, so on the basis of their color, algae can be present in different forms. There is so many forms of algae which is present in the aquatic condition. Okay, so all these algae, they are different shapes, they are of different types, they are different colors. So on the basis of color, we have classified the algae into 3 types. What are they? Chlorophyceae. Then after that there is a Phaeophyceae. Okay, and then after it is a Rhodophyceae. So under this algae, how many types of algae we have to study? 3 types of algae. So now how we have classified? On the basis of their color. So why the plants they are imparting the color? Just due to the pigments. Okay, we all know that why plants are green, because they contain the chlorophyll pigment. Okay, due to this chlorophyll pigment they are green in color. Okay, but now as we are moving towards the different types of algae, the pigment having some different types of composition. So if I will talk about the Chlorophyceae, so what is the another name of Chlorophyceae? It is also known as the green algae. Okay, so what is green algae? It is the Chlorophyceae. Why? Because it contains the chlorophyll and they are green in color, right? Likewise, Phaeophyceae, as their color they are brown. Okay, they are brown, so that's why we are calling Phaeophyceae as a brown algae. Likewise, Rhodophyceae, it is red in color, right? So here how many types of algae we are going to study? 3 types. Name we have done. And what is this? Green, brown and red. So it means that some chlorophyll pigment is different in these 3 types of algae. And what is the common thing? That the chlorophyll A will remain same in all these 3 types of algae. Okay, so it means that what are the other things which is different due to that their colors are different. So it means that we are saying that chlorophyll A is common for all. And why it is so? Because here you will study some more type of pigment. Okay, like fucoxanthin. Here in this one you will study phycoerythrin along with this chlorophyll A. Okay, so chlorophyll A is common for all. So because the other pigments, they are dominant, so they are creating the masking effect to the chlorophyll A. Okay, otherwise chlorophyll A is also present here also, but due to the dominant character of the other pigments, they are going to suppress the character of this chlorophyll A in these 2 types of algae. Okay, now comes to the habitat. See here, whenever we are studying any of the kingdom or any of the division or any of the types, we will study in the different headings. Okay, so under different headings we are going to study. The first one is what? Habitat. It means that where you can see such type of algae. So such type of algae you can see in the cosmopolitan region. So what does it mean? It means that it can be located, it can be found everywhere. Okay, so it can be found in the any part, in the aquatic condition also, in under the aquatic condition it can be found in the fresh water also, it can be found in the marine water also, it can be found in the brackish water also. Okay, so what do you understand by the brackish water? Brackish water is what? It's somehow type of the estuaries. It means that where the fresh water and the marine water, they are going to meet, they are known as the brackish water. Okay, so we can say fresh, marine or brackish. Everywhere you can see such type of algae, that is the chlorophyceae, right? That comes under the different heading, that's the structure. So how it look like? Again, as I have said, algae have a different forms. Okay, so under the chlorophyceae also they are having different forms. So what can be the different forms here? It can be the unicellular also, it can be the colonial also, it can be the multicellular also. And we know that most of the algae, okay, we are studying the example of algae which are unicellular in the chlorophyceae only. But as we are moving to the phaeophyceae and rhodophyceae, in rhodophyceae you cannot see any example of the unicellular. Okay, because this is the general characteristics of plant, that they are multicellular. So here what you can say, that these unicellular can be seen under the chlorophyceae. So what can be the example? Examples can be Chlamydomonas, Chlorella and the Acetabularia. Okay, so if here under this unicellular I will talk about, again they can be divided to 2 types. What are they? Some are having the motile form and some they are having the non-motile form. So Chlamydomonas, as it is having the flagella. Okay, so Chlamydomonas having the flagella, that's why it is motile in nature. And this Chlorella, they don't have any flagella, so they are non-motile in nature. And both you cannot see with your naked eye. Okay, and what are they? They are the unicellular organism, just like the Protista. Okay, we have done that Protista are what? They are the unicellular. Earlier it was thought that it should go under the Protista, but due to the nature of the plants, as it is showing similarity to the green plants, that's why they are placed under the plant kingdom, right? So here what we can say, these are the examples, and from the examination point of view, all these examples are very important. Okay, so question may be asked from anywhere that what are the different examples of this form. Okay, or we can say that list any of them, that which one is the this chlorophyceae, phaeophyceae or rhodophyceae. So you must be knowing all the example here, right? That comes to the colonial form. Okay, so in this colonial form you can see that these algae, they are present in some colony. Again they are unicellular, but they are living together. Okay, multicellular means that they are doing some work together, but unicellular they are the single cell. Okay, but they like to live in a colony. So what we can say, they are the colonial nature, and every time they are moving together, so they are motile colony. Okay, so the example is what, which of the algae likes to live in the colonial form? It is volvox, right? Then comes to the multicellular. What type of algae or the chlorophyceae they are multicellular? That they are filamentous. It means that those algae, they are in form of this filament form. So what you can say, that this Eulothrix or the Spirogyra. Okay, so they are present in which form? In form of the filament. So you can see that how many type of structure or forms they are possible in the chlorophyceae, right? Now comes to the chloroplast. As we are saying that all these chlorophyceae, phaeophyceae, rhodophyceae, they are due to what? They are due to the different types of pigments which is present in the plant. So here, what are these photosynthetic pigments? Okay, so the first thing is that these photosynthetic pigments, they are present in the chloroplast of the cell. Okay, so here if I will talk about the chloroplast, you must be knowing that what is a chloroplast? It is a double membranous structure. Okay, double membranous structure. So inside this chloroplast, some of the pigments they are present, and this chloroplast, again the chloroplast can be of different shapes. It can be in form of disc shape, it can be in form of cup shaped, it can be present in form of ribbon shaped. Okay, so any shape it can be present. So here generally if I will talk about the Chlamydomonas, so the chloroplast of the Chlamydomonas, how it will look like? It will look like the cup shaped. Okay, likewise if I will talk about the Spirogyra, what type of chloroplast it is present? It is present in form of the ribbon shaped. Okay, so here you can see that there are different types of chloroplast present in different types of plants, right? And here if I will talk about the pigments which is present inside this chloroplast or the what are this chlorophyll? It is what? It is a chlorophyll A, which I have said that it is common in all three type of algae. So what is it? Chlorophyll A. Along with this chlorophyll A, there is a chlorophyll B and the carotenoids. Okay, so these things they are combining together and imparting the red color. Okay, and due to this chlorophyll, what is happening? They are photosynthetic in nature. So that's why all three are photosynthetic. Why? Because chlorophyll A is present. Okay, now comes to the another characteristic about the cell wall. So if I will talk about the cell wall of the chlorophyceae, so here generally we can say that the cell wall, it's only, I have drawn here chloroplast. Now I'm just going to draw the cell. Okay, if you will see the cell, right? So what you can say that the cell wall is made up of two components. What are they? As every cell having what? Having some cell wall. Okay, cell has having what? Cell wall. So the cell wall is made up of what? If I will talk about the cell wall of the chlorophyceae, it is made up of cellulose internally. So inner, what you can say, if I will draw the structure, internally it is having what? It is having cellulose, and externally it is having what? Pectin. So this point is important. Why? Because it is different in different types of algae. In Phaeophyceae you will see another composition. So here internally what is happening? Cellulose is present, and externally it is having the pectin. Okay. Now another thing about this chloroplast. Inside the chloroplast, I said to you that they can be present in different form. So if I will talk about the Chlamydomonas, okay, or any of the chlorophytes, you can see that there are some storage material also. Okay, what are they? They are having some storage material. So these storage material are what? They are made up of two components. What are they? Proteins and starch. What are they? They are the, if I will draw this structure, protein and starch. Okay, so what you will call this structure? You will call it pyrenoids. So this is the distinct feature of the chlorophyce, that the storage material which is present in this one, it is known as pyrenoids. And this pyrenoids, it is composed of two things, protein and starch. So how they are present? It's just like a flower like. Okay, it's just like a flower like. You can draw this type of structure also or this type of structure also. So what you can say, that outer part and the inner part. So we can say the outer part is what? It is starch, and the inner one is protein. Okay, so these two storage material, they are present here in the pyrenoids. Okay. Now comes to the flagella. So if I will talk about the flagella in chlorophyce, so the flagella number can be from 2 to 8, and whatever the flagella, they will present at the apical part. Okay, not in the lateral part. It means that they are present only and only in the apex part, right? So this is what, this is the feature. Now another, the storage, what we have said, storage can be the sometimes oil droplets also, and we are using these oil droplet as a biodiesel. Okay, so what we have to study here, the examples, features, what are the different features which is making it different from another algae. Okay. Some other information, that the filamentous algae which we are having here, two types, Ulothrix and Spirogyra. Okay, so what is the another name of Ulothrix? It can also be said as a pond wool, and Spirogyra is pond silk. So again, it can be asked in your examination. So don't confuse, pond wool is what? Ulothrix, and what is pond silk? It is a Spirogyra. Okay, now comes to the last characters that we are discussing here, reproduction. Reproduction is what? It can be done by any of the method, vegetative, asexual and sexual. When we were discussing about in the last class the reproduction in whole algae. So what we have discussed, three types of reproduction, they are possible here. So how the vegetative reproduction, it is going to happen here? With the help of fragmentation. Okay, fragmentation is what? It means that any of the part, it will cut down and it will give rise to a new filamentous algae. Okay, so in this form of fragmentation, each fragment having the ability to give rise to a new plant. Okay, then comes to the asexual. Asexual means there is a no role of the sex organ. So here only spores are responsible. So what are the spores? Zoospores. Okay, as they are having the flagella, so that's why we are calling them zoospores, because they are contains the flagella and they are motile in nature, right? Then comes to the sexual reproduction, and under the sexual reproduction we are having three types. What are they? Isogamous, anisogamous and oogamous. Again, this is very, very important. Star mark. Why it is important? Because all three types of the sexual reproduction, it is possible, but what are the examples? Okay. If I will talk about the isogamous, isogamous are what? It means that both of them, the gametes, they are similar in form. It means that you can see that both are similar in form, right? So what we can say, this is the isogamous. So condition can be that both are motile, okay, or it can be non-motile. Okay, so both of the gametes, they can be motile or they can be non-motile. So when they are motile, example are what? Chlamydomonas. Okay, chlamydomonas again becomes very, very important, that so many things are related to it. So if I will talk about the chlamydomonas, cladophora and Ulothrix, in all these three types, they are motile in nature, right? When we talk about the Spirogyra, you can relate that Ulothrix and Spirogyra, both are filamentous, but still Ulothrix is what? They are having the motile form, and in Spirogyra it is having non-motile form, right? And both the gametes, they are similar. Now comes to the anisogamous. It means that both are different. Okay, both gametes, they are different in morphology, and example is what? Euderina, right? And then comes to the oogamous. In oogamous again, the female will be larger one and the male will be the smaller one, right? So likewise, we have divided the reproduction part in this chlorophyce. Now here we will understand about the second type of algae, that is the phaeophyce. So in this phaeophyce, again we will discuss under different headings. That the first one is the habitat. It means that where they can be found. So if I will recall the first Chlorophyceae, they are the cosmopolitan. It means that they can be found everywhere. But this Phaeophyceae, they are found in marine water. Okay, so this is the first difference between the Chlorophyceae and Phaeophyceae. Now comes to the second one, that is the structure. Okay, so there we have done the different type of structure, unicellular, multicellular, then we have done the colonial form, and here the structure of the Phaeophyceae, they are filamentous in nature. Okay, so what is the structure here? That is the filamentous, and this filamentous structure can be of two types, less branched and the profusely branched. It means that sometimes these filaments can be in a simple form, okay, without any branching, but sometimes they can be found in a very profusely formed. Okay, so we can say that this type of structure can be found in the Phaeophyceae. Okay, then comes to the cell wall. So before the cell wall, if I said that these are having the profusely branching, it means that they can increase or they can grow up a very larger height or length. So here example which is given in your NCERT, that kelp. Okay, kelp is what? Kelp is also known as a macrocystis, which is having the size 100 meters. So it can grow up to the 100 meter, and this is the largest algae. So if I will ask you the question, which one is the largest one? Largest algae examples will be what? That it is a Phaeophyceae, and specifically it is kelp, okay, which can grow up to the 100 meter, right? Then comes to the cell wall. In the earlier Chlorophyceae, we have done that cell wall is made up of two things. What are they? Cellulose and pectin. Now if you will recall here, that again the cell wall is made up of what? It is made up of the cellulose, which is common, but outer the cellulose it is having what? Some gelatinous fluid which we are calling it algin. It is made up of what? Calcium alginate, which is providing what? Which is providing them as a hydrocolloids also, because during the unfavorable period, so this cell should not get the dehydrated. That's why this algin is present outer to the cell wall. Okay, so what we have done, that this is what the new thing which is present here, that is the algin. Now comes to the pigment. Pigment, again difference is what? Chlorophyll A will be there, but in the Chlorophyceae there was a chlorophyll B, right, and the carotenoids. But here you will see that along with this chlorophyll A, chlorophyll C is present, and what is the next? That's a fucoxanthin. So this fucoxanthin will decide what should be the color. Okay, that's why it will start from where? From olive green to the brown color. So as the fucoxanthin content will increase, what will happen? They will impart more and more brown color, and what we are calling this Phaeophyceae, that they are the brown algae. So why this brown algae it is there? Just due to the fucoxanthin pigment along with this chlorophyll E and the C. Then comes to the storage. Storage here, it can be what? It can be the laminar starch as well as the mannitol. Okay. Then comes the reproduction. Reproduction can be of all type, vegetative, asexual. So here we are studying mostly focusing on the oogamous type. So vegetative filamentous, so fragmentation is possible. Asexual can be done by the spores, and what can be the sexual? If I will talk about the sexual production, so only and only in fucus. What type of reproduction? Oogamous. It means that the female will be the larger and the male will be the smaller. Okay, so this is what this can be found in the fucus, right? Now, if I will talk about the flagella. Flagella, in case of chlorophyll, I said to you that it can be 2 to 4 or 2 to 8, right? But here the flagella number will be only 2, and there the flagella, they are the same cell or same length, okay? But here the flagella are what? They are the unequal. It means that the length can be varied, and these flagella, they are situated laterally, which is present in form of Chlorophyceae at the apical part. Okay, so flagella can be 2, and they are unequal. Their length can be unequal as well as they are lateral, right? So this much thing is about the Phaeophyceae. Now, if we are talking about the thallus or the structure of the Phaeophyceae, they can be present in different forms. Okay, so here the structure or the thallus of the 505C, they are divided into three parts, just like we are knowing that in case of plant also root, stem and leaves are present. But as they are the lower plants, so they don't have any true root, true stem and true leaves, right? So what are the things which is present here in case of 505C? This part is what? Frond. Okay, this stalk like structure is what? It is known as stipe, and this the last structure is holdfast. Okay, so this frond will act like a leaves, just photosynthetic in nature, right? Stipe is what? It is somehow stalk like structure, and this holdfast, it will act like a attaching with the substratum, so we cannot write it is a root. Okay, because the function of root is what? For the absorption of nutrient and mineral. So this holdfast will not be able to absorb any nutrient. So what is the function of this holdfast? Just to attach with the substratum, and that's why the holdfast is there. Okay, and frond is what? They are providing some photosynthetic pigments here, and they are photosynthetic in nature. Okay, so examples we are having three forms: laminaria, fucus and dictuata. What are the specific feature? Laminaria we have done in fucus. Along with this frond, you can see that what is they are having? They are having the frond and they are having the holdfast. Okay, but along with this blue color structure, you can see that these are what? These are the things which can be useful for the buoyancy. Okay, so here what we can say, in case of fucus, they are having some bladder. What you are calling them? Bladder. So bladder is present where? In the fucus. What is the role of this bladder? Because it is providing the floating ability to the water. So you can see these algae, they are floating on the surface. Why? Because it is having the bladder in their front. Okay. Now comes the dictuata. Dictuata again having what? They are having the frond, but their frond is just like a digits. Okay, that we are calling it dictuata. Why? Because as you are saying, our palm and these fingers, they are what? They are just like our palm and fingers. So we can say this is what? This is the dictuata. Right? So these are the examples which are very important for the 505C. Along with this fucus, it is important. Why? Because it is having oogamous type of sexual reproduction, and ectocarpus is also there. Right? Then comes to the third one, that is the rhodophyce. Rhodophyce we will study under same heading, that is the first one is habitat. So habitat in the chlorophyce, it was cosmopolitan, but 505C and rhodophyce, they are marine in nature. Okay, then comes to the structure. So here you cannot see an example of the unicellular algae. Okay, so here all the algae will become the multicellular. You can see that now what is happening? Gradually the things, they are becoming the multicellular. Okay, so they are what? They are multicellular, and again they are the filamentous structure. And cell wall here, what is it? The cell wall is made up of cellulose and the keratin. Okay, in chlorophyce, the cellulose as well as the pectin. Here the cellulose and the algin. Here the cell wall is what? Cellulose and the keratin. See how many differences are there in these three type of algae. Now comes the pigment. In the first part we have done chlorophyll A, B and the carotene. Here we have done chlorophyll A, C, fucosanthin. But now here chlorophyll A is common. Along with this you are having chlorophyll D and this phycoerythrin, which is responsible for imparting red color. More the phycoerythrin, more it is going towards the red color zone. Okay, so here what we can say, this phycoerythrin is deciding the color of the algae. Okay, that's why it is red in color, because wherever we are using the word erythrin, so it means that it is indicating red in color. Okay, now comes the storage. Storage is what? It can be the Floridian starch. And the reproduction again can be done of three types: vegetative, asexual and sexual. But here what you can see, that asexual have the non-motile spores. What are they? Non-motile spores. And what you are calling them? Aplanospore. Those spores which don't have any motility, what you are calling them? Aplanospore. And sexual reproduction only and only by the oogamous type. Right? And examples: Polysiphonia, Porphyra, Gelidium and Gracilaria. Right? So all these algae, they are very important for the human also. If I will talk about this Gelidium, Gelidium is responsible for what? It is providing, we are using them for making the jellies, Okay, so likewise, if I will talk about the examples of the chlorophytes, we have done that chlorella is there. Chlorella is very important because because space travelers they are taking it, and most of the time we are using as a food. Okay, and most of the algae we are using as a seafood. Some we are using as an antibiotic also. Okay, so we can say so many economic importance of these algae here, and here we have completed the types of algae. Then we will start the another one, that is the bryophyta. Okay, so that's all for today. Thank you.